Dino, thanks for talking to us today. Good news, obviously, we've got Alan Gray coming in to help us with Memories by Movie, taking some footage of the games. That's going to be a bonus for us in the future.
Absolutely. It's great that the club have managed to secure Alan and the company coming in and doing it. Brilliant for the fans' perspective, to be able to view highlights and of the games on the evening after we play. It's massive, obviously, given the circumstances, and it's really difficult for supporters at the moment. We've not been able to come in and watch the games live, but hopefully this softens the blow a wee bit, that they will be able to watch the matches, albeit at a later stage, and it'll be able to catch up on how well the team's doing, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. We've obviously started away at Bonnyton on Saturday and then home to Cumbernauld next Saturday, so it would be a good start to the season with some footage behind us as well. Absolutely,
and we're raring to go. The footage would be absolutely brilliant, and it's also, I know that you were touching on it later, about the analytical side of things as well, and I think that's a great point that you make, Richard, because I've mentioned it to you before in regards to possibly having someone record their games so that we can look back on it, and it's brilliant for a coaching perspective that you can touch on things now. You don't need to pull boys in on a Monday night to watch 45 minutes of footage, but if you can pick up one or two wee things from the footage, then it could prove vital for us in the quest to get points on the board early doors.
Exactly, just be things you can notice in the game that after the game plays tricks on you. You can't remember if this is how it happened or who was marking this or whatever. Gives you a chance to look back at it in training and look, things we did well, things we didn't do well.
It does that, absolutely. Hopefully I'll be playing on a Saturday, so it'll be good to see it from both sides of for the spectrum, as a player and also obviously as a coach. I know that Jimmy will be keen on it as well. Jimmy's very keen on getting the footage in for that exact reason, so that we can go over these things. And it's exciting times, and it's good that the club have been able to put this on for us along with Alan. And I'm sure that the supporters will be desperate to see us in action.
Yeah, sure they will. Obviously, getting back to some proper football this weekend. How challenging has this been for you and the technical staff throughout a very, very long summer?
It has been, and it's been a very long summer, as you had said there, Richard. It's been very difficult from a footballing perspective, as well as just even a people's perspective in terms of how we've had to look after the guys. And what I will say is their attitude throughout this has been absolutely exemplary, and everything that's been asked of them, they're doing it absolutely for us. And it's been difficult, but in terms of the grand scheme of things in this whole pandemic, we've got to take a wee bit of a back seat and just accept that we've got to do what we've got to do to play football. And the boys are all on board. Obviously, from our side of things, it's been difficult in terms of the preparation. A lot has went into it, a lot of courses, a lot of reading on this. But we've done well, and we'll just hopefully, obviously, things take care of themselves in terms of the pandemic. But for us, hopefully, we're over the other side of it now in the footballing terms, and we can get back out there playing league games.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. There's been quite a few teams have pulled out the league over the summer and made their own decisions, obviously, on whether they should play or whether they shouldn't. What impact do you think it's going to have on the league as it sits now?
Obviously, there's some big names, and firstly, we've got to respect these teams for the decisions that they've made. I know
absolutely,
it's not been easy decisions for them. So, firstly, they've got a respect for doing that. Whether or not it should have been taken out of the team's hands or not, it's a different argument. But from our perspective, Richard, and I know that we've spoken about it at great length, and from Jimmy and Marty, Andy and Dougie and everyone on board, we gave the players the option, and I think that was a big thing. We gave the players the option to decide whether we were wanting to submit the application to play in the league, and thankfully for us all, the overwhelming majority have said that they wanted to play. And I think as players as well, like obviously I'm still playing, as a player, to have that choice, it's a good thing, because I've spoken to players at these other clubs, and obviously they're frustrated that they can't play football for a year or so, and I don't know how things will work contractually between them, but I just hope that for everyone's sake, that's played football, involved in football, that if they're desperate to play football, then hopefully they can still manage to do so throughout this pandemic.
Yeah, exactly, and it's been a difficult decision for some of the clubs to decide not to play, as it has been for some of the clubs to play. But hopefully we can get back to some football, and if there's a good positive point in the next few weeks, we can get some football back, hopefully.
Definitely, Richard, and just to touch on your point and how it will affect the league, but that'll be open to see. But obviously the league's been trimmed now because of the teams that have obviously withdrawn. But there's an opportunity now there for every team in the league to go and achieve something. Auchinleck's been the benchmark, they're not in the league.
Yeah.
Pollock's a fantastic side, Cumnock, Glenafton, you're talking about some giant teams in our level of football. And it would be foolish of us, along with the other teams, that I know that Spenny, Irvine Meadows already commented saying that he thinks that the title's up for grabs for a lot of teams, and I'm sure a lot of teams will have that opinion. From us, we're just looking to get points on the board early doors, and get back to playing football. Hopefully we can get supporters in throughout that. That'll be we need to wait to see for that. But for our guys in the dressing room, to get that competitive feeling back and win that 3 points on a Saturday, that's exactly what we're looking for going ahead.
100%. There's been a really good buzz about the club, about the development team over the summer. There's some boys have come in the summer and have really made an impact. They
have. Obviously the situation that developed throughout the summer there was unfortunate for everyone, and we are the very lucky ones in this football team because we've come away with a group of boys out there that they're keen in football, their tactical knowledge of football is outstanding. But like the first point I referred to there is they're keen, and that's important. As a young guy, Richard, the only thing that I was keen, and that's what got me to where I was. And I'm sure that all the experienced boys, everything that they're talking about in terms of these 20s boys, it's all regarding how keen they are, how much enthusiasm they've brought into training, and that's massive, and it shows by the opportunities that they've had throughout pre-season. We must have used, we've used every single one of the development squad over pre-season.
I think so, yes, yeah.
There's been
and on merit as well.
On merit as well, and there's been 6 or 7 involved at a level that's on a more consistent level also, as well as being at training. And it's been terrific, they've been brilliant. There's a couple of smashing players there. But on a whole, what they are is they're a proper team, and they all look after each other, and that's great. And I know that going forward in the league that they'll be competitive in their own leagues, but like we've always spoken about at this club, the player pathway is huge, and if they continue on the way that they're going, there'll be plenty of them appearing in the first team this year.
Yeah, quite sure. It's quite a coup to attract Thomas Aware in as the head coach this summer as well. Absolutely, and I know that there was a lot of work going on in the back to get Tam in, so well done to everyone who's managed to do that. He's been a breath of fresh air since he came into the club. He's been absolutely superb, from the likes of myself and Jimmy and Marty and Dougie as well, just having that face. Obviously still been involved in the level of football that he's involved at, Richard. It's really important that we all tap into that. It would be fools not to. He's been absolutely brilliant. And just last week when we split the teams up to take the development team and the first team together, and it was brilliant. Just there's so much that I've learned off him since he's been in. I know that the players absolutely commands the players' respect, and with him at the helm, there's nothing that the 20 boys can't achieve this year in their own division. But the most important thing for Tam is the development of the players, and that's huge because that's when I'll really see the benefits, is when he's developing these players, that I'm sure he will. Yeah, absolutely. Just to put you in the spot before we finish, if you had to pick a finishing point where you think we're going to finish this season in the top 15, where do you think we'll finish? Above last year. Good answer. Thanks very much for your time, Dino. Thanks very much. Richard. Cheers.